Welcome back all my aspiring pattern makers and my future fashion designers. If you are a pattern maker who likes to specialize in blouses or in dresses, you need to learn to master bust dart manipulation. Now there are two ways that you can create a bust dart manipulation. You can use the slash and spread method, or you can use the pivot method. In terms of doing the bust dart manipulations, you will need to use a bodice sloper or a bodice pattern. And there are two types of slopers that you can use. You can use the 1-dart sloper, or you can use the 2-dart sloper. Now today, I'm going to show you how to use a 1-dart sloper to create several other types of places that you can shift that dart to. I did a previous video on bust dart manipulation where I showed you 4 places that you can shift your waist dart to. So in this part 2 video, I'm going to show you how you can shift that 1 dart that is from the waist to 5 other places. Before we get started, I want to tell you that it is better to use a 2-dart bodice sloper as opposed to a 1-dart bodice sloper when you're creating a blouse or a dress that is going to fit you better around the cup area and give you that better shape that you're looking for. So let's get right into it, where today I'm going to focus on the 1-dart bodice sloper and show you how you can shift that waist dart to 5 other places. And don't forget, you can go back and watch my other video on how to create 4 other places that you can shift that 1 waist dart that is on a 1-dart sloper. So let's get right into it. So before I get started, I want to highlight that I'm using an actual pattern and not a sloper. And there is a difference. You can go back and watch my video on the difference between a pattern and a sloper. Now, with this pattern, it has 1 waist dart. And with this waist dart, I'm going to shift it to 5 other places. So let's get started with the first place that we're going to shift this waist dart. The first place that we're going to shift this waist dart to is going to be the center front neck. The center front neck would be at the neck and where the center front meets. So right here. So what you would simply do is that you are going to start by tracing around from the center front right here, going around, and you're going to do that, and then you are going to move this dart that is here at the waist up here. So let's get into it. First thing you're going to do, you are going to trace around your dart right here at the neck, and trace the neck edge of your dart. Trace around your sloper. So this is actually not a sloper, this is a pattern actually that I'm using, but that's fine because when you have your sloper, you would be doing the same thing. And you're tracing down to the end. Make sure you're placing your point here. And when you do that, you're going to trace up to where that dart starts right here. All right, make sure you have all your lines there. We're going to pivot this and we're going to close the dart. So once I close the dart like this, I'm now going to trace here. I'm going to trace along the center front all the way up to the center front and neck. All right, so this is your center front and neck. Now, you'll notice that you now have a space here, right? Make sure that you don't go over like an 1/8 or a 1/4 of an inch here. It must be right at the edge. Now, the next thing that you're going to do is that you are going to move this dart point up to the bust point. So when you have a pattern or a sloper, the bust point and the dart point are different. The dart point is usually 5/8 of an inch below the bust point. So what you're going to do, you need to go up 5/8 of an inch here from this line, and you can sketch the line, right? Don't have to trace it out. And you're going to go off 5/8 of an inch, right? So let's make sure that we have 5/8 of an inch here, right there. So this is where it is. This is your bust point, but because this is your bust point, you will also need to go up another 5/8 of an inch to get your dart point for your new dart line. And what I suggest that you do here, you are going to simply trace this to your bust point, right? Because you want to get the center of this line. So that's why I'm just doing a dotted line here. You're going to measure across here. This is 3.5 inches. So half of this is 1 3/4 right here. All right. But now you have this point here, and you're going to connect it to the bust point. Now that you have it connected to the bust point, this is where you need to go up 5/8 of an inch, and you get your ruler, and along that line you're going to go up 5/8 of an inch, and you put your mark there or your dot, and then you draw your new dart line, and it's going to be like this. There is a difference, okay, from the dotted line. This was your original dart point. So now you went up to here, which is the bust point, and there is a difference, okay? So once you have this, you are going to fold your paper with the fullness going towards the front, right? With the center front, the fullness is going towards the center front. And once you have that, then you'll be able to reshape the area here. You might get something like looking like that, but it's going to be reshaped once you have that, okay? And this is what the center front neck dart manipulation looks like. So let's label this one. This is the center front and neck dart. Okay, that's what we did. So let's get into our second bust dart manipulation, which is going to be the shoulder tip. And the shoulder tip we're talking about right here at the tip of the shoulder, where the shoulder and the armhole meets. So right where the shoulder and the armhole meets, that's what we're going to focus on. So we're going to shift this dart up here, okay? So let's get started first by starting right where we're going to shift the dart to. Always do that, right? And I have my point here, and we're going to start here because we're going to shift it here. So you're going to trace around, all right? And you're going to trace all of this. Make sure you have it. And you're going to put in your dart point right here. Your dart point is different from your bust point. And right here, because guess what, guys? This is a pattern I'm using and not a sloper. So this would be the point right here. So you can do it right here that you need to place it, because that's where it's going to be when you're doing the manipulation, okay? So right at the tip here, all right? So right here at the shoulder point, that's where it's going to be. You're going to close this dart. So we're going to pivot, all right? So you have your thumbtack if you're using a paper, and you're going to pivot and you're going to close this dart. And we're going to trace the other part of the dart. Try not to shift anything. And we're going to do this, trace around the armhole, and we're going to keep it right there. So remember now, this is where the tip was, right here. Okay, we're going to use this point. This is your dart point. So because that is your dart point, once again, you need to create your bust point by going up 5/8 of an inch. So you're going to go right here. That's your bust point. BP, this is your dart point. Okay. Then what you're going to do, oh, that smudge a bit. Make sure that you're dealing with this point right there. So the next thing that you're going to do, you're going to connect this shoulder by the armhole to the bust point, and you're going to do it on the other side. The next thing that you need to do, you need to measure this, and I got here 4 inches. So you need 2 inches because it needs to be half. And with that half, you're going to draw your center line. So this is your center line. From the tip right here, you need to go up your 5/8 of an inch again. And you're going up, and it's going to be right here. So now you have that mark. You are going to create the new dart line, which this is a new dart point. All right, this was the BP. And you're going to go like this. And solid line, you're going to use this time. And you're going to use another solid line on this end. Like that. With this one, you're folding your fullness towards the center front. So fullness is going to go towards the center front, right? And you're going to shape out here when you fold it. I'm just freely doing it right now, but you need to make sure that you fold along your new dart line and you are folding the fullness towards the center front. And trace it and make sure that you're getting rid of any fabric that, you know, while you are sewing, that you're not going to miss in any piece of fabric creating your dart. So this is what we call now the shoulder tip dart. Okay, it's coming from the shoulder tip right there. Now, if you are using a sloper and not a pattern, then you have to add your seam allowances around to complete that and give you a pattern piece for the bodice. So be careful there. And if you are using a sloper, remember now that for the neck right here, the edge of the neck, you are going to use 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, and along the shoulder, armhole, and side seam, and also the waist area, you are going to use 1/2 an inch. Some people like to use 5/8 of an inch when they're sewing, but typically 1/2 an inch is good. Let's get into our third bust dart manipulation, which is going to be a center front waist. And the center front waist we're talking about, this is the center front, this is the waist, and where both meets right here, that's where you're going to place your dart as opposed to at the waist. And there is a difference between the center front and waist and the waist dart. So let's get into the next bust dart manipulation of moving this waist dart to the center front and waist. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to trace this one. So I'm going to trace from my center front and my waist where I need to shift and have that dart placed there. So I'm tracing all around. And I'm going to come up to here. I'm going to place my dot at the dart point, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this dart. So I'm placing my thumbtack or my finger there, and I'm going to pivot this around, and I'm going to close that dart, and then I'm simply going to trace that, and I have this already. Yep, it came out on the other side right there. So this is my opening now, and this is actually at the center front waist. So because we have this dart line here, I'm going to go up 5/8 of an inch from here to get my bust point. And this is going to be my dart point right here. So from that, okay, now I'm going to create from the bust point dash lines that is going to connect to the center front waist. So I'm going to do my dash line now. Once you have that, you're going to do the same thing on this side. And then you need to find your center line for your dart. And I'm going to measure, and I'm getting 1, 2, 3 and a quarter. I need 1 5/8. This needs to come down 5/8 of an inch, but let's create our center for our dart first. And we're going to come down 5/8 of an inch, and 5/8 of an inch from here is going to take me to right here. And from there, now you can create your new dart line, and your new dart line is going to look like this. And this is your new dart line. So because you're now using this, which is the center front waist dart, that's what it is. You're going to probably, when you fold everything up, get something maybe that looks something like that. But you have to fold your dart first, close it. Once you close it, then you're going to see where everything is. And in this case, you're going to fold it where your fullness is going to go towards your center front. So your fullness is going to go to the center front. Therefore, that you're going to have excess over here, but that is fine because it's going to be on the fold anyhow. You will notice that your new dart line is going to be at the center front, at the tip, and where the waist meets. If you use a sloper to do your bust dart manipulation, then you go ahead and add your seam allowances all around so that that can create a pattern. So this is your third bust dart manipulation. So the fourth bust dart manipulation that I'm going to show you how to do is the French dart. Now, the French dart is totally different from the underarm, or what we call the side seam dart. The side seam dart is usually this type of dart right here, and it is formed by having it where it is perpendicular to the center front. Now, the French dart is not going to be perpendicular to the center front. No, it's going to be different. It is going to be slant. So let's get into me showing you how to move that waist dart and turn that into a French dart. Yeah, we're going to level up, level up, level up, level up, level up, level up, all the way up, all the way up. Nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you, just like what French Montana, he sings that song. So let's get into it and go all the way up. So the French dart is going to be at the side, but it's not going to be perpendicular to the center front. It's going to be at a slant, and it's usually between where the side seam, or what we call it the underarm dart, is and the waist. So usually somewhere around here, and you just slant it up. So that's where I'm going to place my French dart. For you to understand dart manipulation properly, I would suggest that you start wherever you're shifting that dart to. So in this case, because I'm shifting it to this mark right here, which is going to be the slant line, which would now be the French dart, I need to start from here and trace all around to the beginning of the dart, and then I'll close the dart. That is an easy way to do it. Please do not go the reverse where the dart is open here. No, you have to start where you're going to place it, but away from where that dart is going to close. You can't come this way. You have to go the opposite direction. So I'm going to now start from here, and I'm going all around. All right, all the way up, all the way up. Nothing can stop me. Nothing can stop me. French Montana, and we are creating a French dart. And I'm going to trace to the beginning of that dart. I'm going to put my mark here for the dart point. But remember now, this is the dart point. It is not the bus point. And I'm going to place my finger there, or my thumbtack, if you are doing this on paper, and you're going to shift it over. Or you can do this slash and spread method. It doesn't matter. Okay, so that's what you have. The point is there. I'm just going to make it brighter. You're going to do the same thing that we did before, because this is the dart point and not the bus point. So because this is the dart point, you can put DP here, and I'm writing it on this side. And you'll notice that if I connect a line from where it closed, I'm going to, you can do a dash line 5/8 of an inch up. That would take you right here. Okay, this would now be your bus point. So because that is your bus point, you need to connect that to the side to create, and we can use dash line here. Okay, and you can do the same thing here. Okay, and what you're going to do next, same procedure as before, we are going to find our center for the dart. So we're going to find the center for the dart, and we are going to measure the width of this dart right here. And I am measuring, and I'm getting a span of 2 3/4, so I need 1 3/8. So let's find 1 3/8, and I'm going to mark it off. 1 3/8 right here. And you're going to take that to create your center from the bus point. All right, and you're going to come down 5/8 of an inch. So let's come down 5/8 of an inch, which is going to take you right here. We are going to reconnect from that new dart point to here. All right, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. And that's your new dart point. And now once again, because this is your French dart, and I'm going to write the word here, French dart, fullness is going to come down to the waist. All right, so you have to iron it with fullness to the waist, or fold your paper where the fullness is coming to the waist, and you're going to reshape your side right here. I'm just freehand doing this. So I'm a veteran. I've been doing this for many years, so I can freely see where the line is going to shape out. But when you do it on your paper, make sure that you're reshaping that side seam right there to get your French dart. Now you notice this is going at a slant, right here, as opposed to the regular underarm, or what we call it, a side seam dart. So just be careful there. So let's get into our fifth dart manipulation. And this is going to be located at the center front and the bust level. So because it's going to be at the center front and the bust level, meaning that you need to create a line that is going to be perpendicular to the center front. So for this one, what I'll suggest that you do on your sloper, or if you're using a pattern, you are going to go up your 5/8 of an inch, right, on your paper or your pattern to get that bust point. You can mark it like that. Once you have this, then you can create a perpendicular line from the center front to this. So to create that perpendicular line, you are going to use an L square, or what we call it a square rule. So this is the one dart stopper that we're going to use to create your center front and bust level dart. Remember now that this is your dart point. So in order to get your bust point, because it's going to be at the bust level, you have to go up 5/8 of an inch. So I would suggest that you continue to trace this line up 5/8 of an inch from the tip of the line, and right here is your 5/8 of an inch. Next thing that you need to do, you need to create a line that is going to be perpendicular to the center front from there. So place your L square right there, and you're going to put a mark there. All right, perpendicular to the center front, because you need it to be at your bust point, all right, not at your dart point. So bust point is 5/8 of an inch above the dart point. Next thing that you need to do is that, as I stated before, the trick is you never trace around the part that has the dart here. No, you trace away from it. So because my mark is right here, I'm going to place my center front right here, and I am going to start tracing from that point all around. And you're tracing all around here, coming down. Okay, place your point there. You are going to come to this area, and you're going to place your finger or your tack right there, and you're going to pivot this to close it right there, and then you trace to the end and trace up to that mark. All right, so this is what it's going to look like. Now you're going to measure what we have here. So this is the mark right there. This is your BP, this is your DP. Once you do that, then the next thing you're going to do, you are going to connect to here. And you use the dashed line or dotted line for this. Connect the other end. Okay, and you find the center. So now you have, this is going to be 1.5 inches, so you need 3/4 of an inch. So right there is the center, 3/4 of an inch. Oops, if it's smudged, make sure you get your 3/4 of an inch properly. Because I'm using the dry eraser marker and I'm using a whiteboard, it's going to smudge sometimes. But if you're using your pattern paper, you're not going to have this situation. You need to create your center mark now. You need a 5/8 here. So this is your 5/8. You are going to connect this. And now you're going to connect the next one. And this is what it looks like. And you're going to fold your dart, right? So this is the new dart point, DP. And this is the one that is at the center front bust level. So once you do this, then you have your new dart there. I just really free-handedly simply trace out what the dart would look like, but when you fold it, make sure that the fullness is going down towards the waist, and so your fullness is going towards the waist, right? And this would be the top line that you would be seeing when you stitch that dart, okay? When you press it, everything is going down. So this is your center front bust level dart. So in conclusion, I've just shown you how you can do dart manipulation and shift your waist dart to 5 other places on that bodice. This video is part 2. Make sure that you go back and watch the first video that I have, where you can learn how to shift that waist dart to 4 other places. And with that 4 plus this 5 places that we can do that dart manipulation shifting, you will learn 9 ways where you can shift that waist dart and take it to 9 other places. Do note that this has been done with a bodice that has 1 dart. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you like what you see, go ahead, hey, hit that like button. And don't forget, hit that share button too, and share it with others around the world so they too can master bust dart manipulation. And as usual, leave me a comment. I like to read your comments. And thank you for watching, and see you soon on the next video to come. Bye now.